Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Continuing with the BJCP style guidelines and continuing with the spice beer category, we're on style 30B, autumn seasonal beer. And for that, I got what is probably my favorite so-called pumpkin beer. Not Southern Tier Pumpkin, Cigar City Good Gourd, ale with pumpkin in it, spices added. Now, as we saw yesterday with the spice or vegetable category, they mentioned that it has to be, a classic style and then it has the spices added. A little bit different with the autumn seasonal, but let's read the top level description here. So, autumn seasonal beers are beers that suggest cool weather in autumn harvest season. It may include pumpkin or other squashes and the associated spices. See the introduction to specialty type beer section for additional comments, particularly on evaluating the balance of added ingredients with the base beer. Overall impression, an amber to copper spice beer that often has a moderately rich body and slightly warming finish, suggesting a good accompaniment for the cool fall season and often evocative of Thanksgiving traditions. Now, let's skip to the bottom here. Comments, characters, ingredients, all that stuff. I just want to go straight to the entry instructions. It says the entrance must specify a base style, but the declared style does not have to be a classic style, which would be any styles 1 through 27. And it says you have to, mention what herbs and spices are in there. Now, as I said before checking the intro to the specialty type beers, I'll put this on the screen here. So when they talk about entering specialty type beers, the second paragraph down, about halfway down, says, some may say that a base style must be described, but that it does not have to be a classic style. This is a free license to describe the beer in any way you want. And they say if your base is loosely a porter but wouldn't score well as an English, American, or Baltic porter, then don't be overly specific. Just simply call it a porter. Now, here's where I kind of deviate from the BJCP is why not just get rid of that altogether, especially in this category and the next one, and just have this, the autumn seasonal as the category. So it's like they're calling this an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. So, but what is it? An Imperial? Is it a brown ale? But a brown ale isn't Imperial. There's no Imperial brown ale style. Is it Imperial Amber? Well, that's not really a style either. Amber is fairly, well, not light, but just not Imperial, and certainly not a strong ale. And it doesn't really meet anything else. So it's its own style. At least that's how I'm going to grade it. So we're going to go straight by the descriptors for this beer. In fact, let's stop talking and let's get pouring. All right, so let's dive right into this. Aroma. Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely pumpkin pie territory. Or it smells like a country store. Like a New England or like a New York country store, something like that. I'm getting, cinnamon, nutmeg, plenty of allspice. It's more spicy than sweet, like actual pumpkin pie or pumpkin puree. Smells pretty sweet. This is a little bit more spiced. So it's definitely has the aromas you want in a pumpkin beer. Nice kind of sweet base malt to it. Slight toffee or caramel. Hops. Don't really get any. Don't really need any. The spices are going to take care of all the bitterness. No alcohol. Smell. Even though it's 8.8 ABV, it's pretty strong beer. So let's check the specs for the aroma for a pumpkin beer, or I should say autumn seasonal. A wide range of aromatics is possible, though many examples are reminiscent of pumpkin pie, candied yams, or similar harvest or U.S. Thanksgiving-themed dishes. Any combination of aromatics that suggests the fall season is welcome. The base beer style often has a malty profile that supports the balanced presentation of the aromatics from spices and possibly other special ingredients. Additional fermentals, brown sugar, honey, molasses, maple syrup may lend their own unique aromatics. Hop aromatics are often absent, subdued, or slightly spicy. Alcohol aromatics may be found in some examples, but this character should be restrained. The overall aroma should be balanced and harmonious and often fairly complex and inviting. Well, if that doesn't describe this beer to a T, I don't know what does. I am going to go big on this. I'm going to go the full 12 out of 12 because that describes perfectly what this beer is doing. As far as appearance, well, I'm not sure how this is looking on camera because we're shooting this at night instead of during the day, but a kind of really deep amber copper, but it might hold up to the light. It's like almost like a fruit punch kind of red. Let's do it off. I'm gonna say, like, without the light behind it, it's like a 27 to 34 SRM. It's quite hazy. It did have a pretty big head when I first poured it, you know, but it's diminished a little. That's nothing bad. Let's check the specs on appearance. Generally medium amber to coppery brown. That's what I just said. Lighter versions are more common. Usually clear, although darker versions may be virtually opaque. Some chill haze is acceptable. Generally has a well-formed head that is often off-white to tan. Some versions with squashes will take on an unusual hue for beer with orange-like hints. Well, again, if that doesn't describe this beer to a T, I don't know what does. All right, so let's dive in. Cheers. Happy Halloween. Yeah, so up front, get the kind of drier spices, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the clove. It's not especially bitter as far as hops. Not that it really needs it, because it's actually not super sweet either. I mean, it's 8.8, which is, you know, it's a pretty hefty beer. But it tastes about like, it's less bready and malty and less sweet than, say, a Dunkelsbach or a Doppelbock. It is really not that sweet. It's just kind of base malt there to give it, you know, plenty of body. And I mean, it's well attenuated because it's not like drinking a glass of sugar, but it's certainly not bone dry either. I love that finish on there. It's like a vanilla and clove. It's not the same taste as Pumpkin, which had like that graham cracker crust. This is something different, but it's like that weird hybrid between the potpourri and the pumpkin pie type pumpkin beer. Yeah, I really like it. So let's check the specs. Flavor. Many interpretations are possible. Allow for rare creativity as long as the resulting product is balanced and provides some spice and optionally sugar and vegetable presentation. Spices associated with the fall season are typical. The spices with optional fermentables should be supportive and blend well with the base beer style. Rich malty and or sweet malt-based flavors are common and may include caramel, toasty, biscuity, or nutty flavors. Toasted bread crust or cooked pie crust flavors are welcome. May include distinctive flavors from specific fermentables. I don't think they're using any molasses, honey, or brown sugar in here, although these elements are not required. Flavor derived from squash-based vegetables are often elusive. That's true. I mean, pumpkin, squash, all that stuff really doesn't have much of a flavor. The wide range of special ingredients should be supportive and balanced, not so prominent as to overshadow the base beer. But again, it kind of my original point is that there is no base beer. This is the beer. Bitterness and hot flavor are generally restrained so as not to interfere with the spices and special ingredients. Generally finishes rather full and satisfying and often has some alcohol flavor, true. Roasted malt characteristics are typically absent, true. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that that's describing this to a T, but this is certainly falling within that kind of general framework that they just set out there. All right, so how to score the good gourd. I'm going to go very high on this one. I'm going to go 18. I mean, it's just kind of everything there that the style guidelines mention. As far as mouthfeel, I'd probably call it like a medium full body. It's medium carbonation. It's very smooth. There's a little bit of alcohol warmth and taste, but it's combining with the palate, so it's not like, you know, it's not solventy or hot or anything. Certainly nothing phenolic or anything like that. Very drinkable. You know, 8.8 ABV. I'm gonna have no trouble finishing this entire bottle by myself. But yeah, let's check the specs for mouthfeel. A wide range of interpretations is possible. Body is generally medium to full, with a certain malty and or vegetable-based chewiness is often present. Yep, medium full. Yeah, I agree with that. Moderately low to moderately high carbonation is typical. Well, that kind of goes everywhere. Many examples will show some well-aged, warming alcohol content, but without being overly hot. The beers do not have to be overly strong to show some warming effects. Well, I mean, again, it's right there. So yeah, it has some warming effects. It's not hot. It's very drinkable. It's not cloying. It's not dry. It's not alcoholic. Yeah, it's very drinkable. So again, I'm gonna go the full 5 out of 5 on mouthfeel. Overall impression, well, I think you can tell. I'm gonna go 10. That is a total score of 48 out of 50. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, the only thing, like, why not give this a 50? I could. I didn't really see no reason not to. I think just because of the lack of a base, like the declared base style. But I mean, it's a commercial beer. This isn't a homebrew at a homebrew competition, so you can't really penalize it for that. Yeah, theoretically, I could go the full 50 out of 50. Maybe I will. I will, since we're here. This for the first time ever. Cigar City Good Gourd 2017 vintage. Oops, wrong side. I'm going to give a full 50 out of 50 to the Good Gourd. I just see no reason not to. If you can see a reason not to, let me know in the comments. And we'll hash it out down there. So this video is going very long. So again, 50 out of 50, 10 out of 10, perfect beer. Love it. One of my all-time favorite beers. And the best pumpkin beer. Sorry, 𝗏𝗏𝗏, but this one's great. I guess I'm playing home favorite since I'm a Florida guy now. All right, so thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.